Hello and welcome to the course of Programming Fundamentals with Python. Week number 15. In the theory, we covered topic related with local, global, and non-local variables. In this practical session, we are going to study programs which will reflect or demonstrate the concept that we have studied in the theoretical class. Our first program for the week number 15 is about the scope of a local variable. The first four lines here are actually the comments, and actually it shows us information about this program. We are in week number 15 and the program is about local variables. This is program number first of this week, and we are going to see the scope of a local variable. Here we have a function. The name of the function is result. It is a user defined function, and these two lines, line number 6 and line number 7, they actually contribute to the body of the function result. So you can say we have two lines in the body of this function. First, in the first line, at line number 6, I'm declaring a variable marks, and it will take a value from the user, and the value taken from the user will be assigned to this variable with the help of this assignment operator. And then here I'm going to print the value of the marks variable. So that is possible because I am going to refer to the variable marks within the body of the function. That is possible, accessible. Okay, so if you run this program, you will see that this line has been executed. It's asking me for marks. Let's suppose the marks is 90 and it display the marks. However, if you make a change to this program like this, okay, then you must know the fact that it will give you an error. The marks will not be displayed on the screen. Why? Because I'm trying to access a local variable where the scope is not defined. The scope of the local variable is the body in which it is defined, declared. Okay, but this will give me an error now. The marks 90, it will not display it. Instead, the marks is not defined, the scope is not clear. Okay, interpreter doesn't recognize the marks here because it is a local variable. Let us move to our second program for this week. Second program is also about the local variable concept. Here we have a function. The name of the function is bugs, and like the previous program, I am going to accept a value for this variable from the user, and then I am going to display that value on the screen. That's possible. Here I'm calling the function, and after the body of the function, I am again trying to access the variable num bugs, which has a local scope. So in a similar way, it will give me an error because num bugs doesn't exist in this scope. The scope is a local variable. So let us see the output. How many bugs? Let's suppose 5,000 bugs. Okay. Inside the body of the function, that is fine. You can access the variable. But outside the body of the function, the local variable is not accessible, and it gives me an error that the num bugs is not defined in this. Well, our third program is about the concept that we saw in the theory class, and it is about the two functions can use the same name for variables. Okay, like we have a variable birds which has been defined in the function Texas, and similarly we have the same variable but this time defined inside the function California. So both these variable actually refers to different memory locations. They have different values. Okay, but the scope is like this. This birds is actually accessible within this function, and this birds is actually accessible within the California function. Means it has a local scope. that is the California function, and it has a local scope, that is the Texas function. How this program will actually work, here we have three functions: main, Texas, and California. The program execution will start from here. We are calling the main function, so we have called the main function. Control will transfer to this line number 5. From within this function, at line number 6, we are making a call to the Texas function, so the control will transfer to this location. Declare a variable, assign it a value 5000, and then print the total number of birds. So it will display 5000. After execution of this statement, the body is controlled. Now the control will transfer to the location from where we actually make the call. And then the next statement at line number 7 will be executed. Here we again have a call, this time for the California function. The control will transfer to line number 11, and then the body of this function will be executed. Now declare another local variable with the name birds. Names are same, but that is possible because the scope is different. Scope is local. And then display the value of this variable birds. So it will display 8000 on the screen. After execution of this statement, control will transfer to the location from where we actually make the call. And that's it. The function main execution has been completed. Return to the point from where we actually make a call to the main function, and after the main function we do not have any statements, so our program will finish here. Let us see the output of this program. Total birds, Texas 5000, in California 8000, and that's it. So the lesson learned here is that you can use variable of the same name within the body of different functions. Program number 4 will demonstrate the same function, the same concept, but now we have a different functions. In this program, we actually have two functions, and the functions are main and square. Inside main, we have a local variable result, and inside square, we have a local variable result. So what does it mean? We are using same variables inside different functions, and that is possible. Two functions that have local variables with the same name, that is possible. How this program execution will work? First we have to call the main function. Control will transfer here. The body will be executed. Declare a variable result, assign it the value square 2. Okay, now we have another function call. Make a call to the function square. But as you can see, this function has a parameter n, which means who wants to call this function have to provide an argument. So we are calling the square function, but we are aware that we have to provide an argument. So the argument here is 2. This 2 will be assigned to this parameter n. And parameters are also local variable, and we discussed about it in the theory class. Now n will contain 2. Next we have the same name variable of the same name. There is a result, but it refers to a different result because it is a local variable. And we are going to multiply n by n. So the value of n is 2. 2 multiplied by 2, you will get 4, and the 4 will be assigned to this variable result. The next statement of this function at line number 10 is the return statement, and you are quite familiar with the return. It will actually return this value to the location from where we actually call this function. The value of result is 4. 4 will return to this point, and that 4 will be assigned to this variable result. And in the next line, we are actually printing the result, the value of the result, that is 4. 4 will be displayed on the screen. If you run this program, the output is going to be 4. This is how we actually use variables of the same name within different functions. Program number 5. First 4 lines comments. This program is about the same idea that we are going to use local variable with the same name. So I will not go into the further details, but the important point is that population is a variable which has been defined in the Peshawar function, and population is another local variable which is defined inside the Islamabad function. Both have values, both refer to different variables, although their names are the same. So if you run this program, we are actually calling Peshawar, and then we are actually calling Islamabad. So it will display the value of the population variable inside, defined inside the Peshawar function, and then the value of the population variable defined inside the Islamabad function. Okay? Population of Peshawar and population of Islamabad is mentioned here. This is, by the way, not the actual population, which is going to be much more higher than these figures. Okay, after understanding this concept, let us move to another concept that is about also about the local variable, but the scope. As you remember, we can actually access a local variable within the function in which it is defined, but we cannot we cannot access the variable from outside the body of the function in which it is defined. That was the first lesson that we learned in the theory class. In the theory class, we also learned something else, that within the same function, you can actually not call a variable before its declaration. And here you can see we have a variable with the name loc. There is a local variable defined within the function my function. It has a value 100. But here at line number 6, we are calling the function, we are calling the variable loc. We are trying to display display the value of the variable loc before its declaration, its definition, its assignment. Okay, that is not possible because you cannot access a variable before its declaration or definition or creation, you can say. So it will give you an error. If you run this program, it will give you error. To remove the first error, you have to put this statement here. Means definition or declaration will occurs before accessing or printing the value. And you will also need to remove this line because you cannot access this variable from outside the body of this function in which it is defined. Now it's working fine. Loc is loc. The value of loc is 100. So it displays the value of loc on the screen. Program number 7 is about the second type of variable, which is known as global variable, and that is opposite of the local variable. First 4 line as usual, there are comments. Okay, in the global variable theoretical concept, we studied that it is a variable that is declared outside the function bodies. If you have one function within your program, it must be declared outside that one function. If you have 10 functions, it must be declared outside those 10 functions. In this case, we have a variable x, and we are assigning the value global to this variable x with the help of assignment operator. And from this line, we actually making it a global variable. And the concept of the global variable is that you can actually access this variable from anywhere within your program. You can access it within a function, or you can access it from outside of the function. Both are valid, both are possible in case of a global variable. So if you run this program, the output is like this: global. So regarding the global variable, it is actually a variable that has been defined, declared, or created outside the body of any function, and this can be accessible within a function body or outside the body of the function. To explain further the concept of the global variable, we studied something which is known as the global keyword. Actually, the global variables can be accessed from anywhere within the program, but you cannot modify the contents of the global variable. However, in some cases, we would require to modify the contents as well of the global variable. For that, you have to use the keyword global within your program. If you do not use this global keyword, then the interpreter will consider this variable as a local variable. So you have to explicitly tell the interpreter that we are interested in accessing the global variable and we are interested in modifying the global variable. For that, you have to use the global keyword here. So in this program, we have a function with the name show name. Here is the definition. This is the body of the function. This statement is not actually the body of the function. You can see from the indentation. First, the program execution will start from here. We have a function call, so the control will transfer to this point. And then we have a variable, and we want to access the variable, that is the global variable, with the help of the global keyword. First, it will display the value of this global variable. So the current value is Ali. Ali will be displayed. After that, at line number 9, we are actually modifying the contents of the global variable, and we want to change the name Ali to Bilal. If you want to display the value of this variable now, then the current value, the updated value of this name variable is Bilal. And that is possible because of the global keyword. Even if you want to access the value from outside the function body, like here, it will display the value, the updated value, that is Bilal. If you run this program, the output is going to be like this. First, you can see from here, actually the program execution is from here. It will display the string main program 1 and then the current value of the name variable. So the current value is Ali. You can see it display Ali. Then we have a function call, control will transfer here, and from within the function body we are going to print this statement. Function 1 is actually the string, it will be displayed, and then the current value of the name global variable, that is Ali. The second line here, the output. After that, we have modified the value of the global variable, and then we want to display it. Function 2 name will display the updated value of the global variable name, that is Bilal. And after execution completion of the function body, the control will transfer to the location from where we actually make the call. Control will transfer to here. Next statement will be executed, and there is main program 2 and name. So the name is Bilal, it will be displayed. This is how you can actually modify the global variable with the help of global keywords. Here is the second example to demonstrate the same concept of the global keyword. Here we have a variable balance, that is the global variable, the current value is 1000. And then we have a function withdraw, and this function has a parameter amount, which means if you want to call this function, you have to provide an argument. So I'm going to call this function withdraw, and I'm providing an argument 500. Whenever you want to call this function, you have to provide an argument. So in this case, the value of amount is 500. Next, I want to modify the balance global variable, so I have to use the global keyword. And in line number 8, we have the balance. New balance is like balance minus amount. So 1000 minus 500, the new value is 500. 500 will be assigned to this balance variable. And then in the next statement, I'm going to display the value of the balance. The current value is 500. So it will display 500 on this. Last program is about the third category of variable, which is known as the non-local variable. And in the theory class, I tell you about the non-local variable, which is something between the local and the global variable. Is not local, is not global, but is something else. And it is used in case of nested function, which mean a function which is defined inside another function. In this program, we have an outer function and we have inner function. And the inner function has been defined within the outer function, which means this is an example which demonstrates the concept of a nested function. And then we have a variable. This variable is local variable, but it is local to the outer function. Okay, you can access this value from the inner function like this. That is possible, but only access. If you want to modify the contents of this title variable, then you have to write a keyword that is known as non-local before the name of the variable title. Okay, so non-local title will tell the interpreter that we are interested in changing the value of the title local variable, which is actually defined inside the body of the outer function. Okay, so if you run this program, the execution will like this. First, we have to call the outer function. The control will transfer to this location, line number 5. And then the title variable will be declared, the value will be assigned to this variable title. And then in the next line, line number 7, we have another call. This time we have another definition of a function. Okay? And this function is inner, and this is actually the body of this function. So here we have a call for the inner function. So the control will transfer to here, non-local title, refer to this variable, okay, then change the title. The new value of the title is another title. So this original title will be replaced by another title. And then we are going to print the title. So the current title after modification is original title. So it will display original title on the screen. Once the execution of this inner function is completed, the control will transfer to the location from where we actually make the call. And then the next statement will be executed. So the next statement is, again, we are trying to access the current value of the title. So the current value of the title is the another title, because we have already modified it here. Another title will be displayed again. And then after execution of this statement, control will transfer to the location from where we actually make the call for the outer function. And next, we do not have any statement, so the program will terminate here. So if you run this program, the output is going to be like another title, another title. You can see we can actually update the value of a local variable within a nested function with the help of the non-local keyword. So these were programs which demonstrate the concept of the local variable, global variable, and non-local variable. I hope you have learned something from this video. Thank you so much for watching the video, and please do subscribe to the channel if you do not have subscribed yet. Thank you so much. Goodbye.